Have you ever been wandering through Roblox, having nothing to play and wanting to come out of your comfort zone, avoiding the usual stuff you will play, remembering a hyperfixation you had on a series, a certain game, and looking it up on the Roblox browser? You get to see countless amounts of experiences to try out, and eventually, you settle in for one, spending minutes, hours, days, and maybe even weeks. However, after a while, the cycle starts to repeat, making you search over and over to try and find more games after you already got everything you wanted in previous games you've played before. But at some point, in your search, you eventually stumble upon a familiar space. You can look around the game and it looks awfully familiar to something you've played before, because that's what it is. An exact replica of a game you've played before. Well, not exactly, but it does have a lot of resemblance. After playing it for a couple of minutes, you come to the conclusion that it's the exact same thing, the same gameplay loop, the same experience, but with different things to offer. And then you continue playing it without giving it too much thought. Has this ever happened to you? Because there's one thing for sure I can say, and that is that it's never happened to me. If this time my voice actually comes out more fluid, understandable, and easier to hear, that's because I'm actually reading a fucking script this time. But enough of that. As you've read in the title, if I even know what I'll call it, I will be discussing a topic that I don't see being spread around much in the Undertale Roblox community. As I've said in the introduction, this entire genre is completely full of the same types of games. An archetype, a formula if you may call it that, with some original exceptions that come around here and there from time to time. Is this a bad thing? Having most of the games being a rip-off of each other? Absolutely not. Neither am I saying that you should stop playing or liking these games, even if it's considered slop for countless people or just downright bad, because it's not about that. Rather about the state of the game and how there's only a couple of games that try out different formulas aside from the already established ones. Because, whether we like it or not, a good chunk of Undertale games have been reduced to simple formulas. For example, one of the original formulas, a free-for-all, like Sans Multiverse of Battles or Undertale Battle Royale. For some people, that might have triggered some flashbacks back when the game was popular, or even remotely alive. In the early states of Undertale Roblox games, the free-for-all or Sans vs Sans types of games were all over the place. This consisted of games where you would get stats after a while of being on the server. Those stats are used to mostly unlock characters to be stronger or something, but that just means whoever AFK'd the longest overnight gets to absolutely bully the fuck out of you if you're just starting the game. Which is the main idea of the whole formula, which is whoever spends more time in game gets to bully everyone else. It's certainly a formula that a lot of people dislike nowadays, with it being less and less seen over the course of time. If I dared you to mention one game like this, what would you say? Aside from the other games I've said. It is quite clear that this has aged pretty badly, if it wasn't able to keep up with these standards nowadays. Moving on to another formula, we have the most popular one back in 2020. The Sans vs Chara formula, with games like Undertale Last Corridor, Undertale Judgment Day, and Undertale Final Shutdown. Which I must say, these games are currently not on their best era, certainly. The Sans vs Chara genre has been around for a while, consisting of a group of players fighting against another player controlling a monster, so human versus monster. It started off with this little game titled, well, Sans vs Chara, where only one person fought against the monster, though with the time it evolved into what we know today. Normally, every time you win a round, you gain a stat, a win, that's used for getting more equipment for the human side, and more characters for the monster side. Though most of the people that played all three of these games can imagine mainly why this genre died out rather quickly. There's basically little to no games utilizing it anymore. Though I must say, I'm impressed at the fact these games still have around 100 active players on a daily basis, because the only game that's even been updating at this point is Undertale Last Corridor. And let's be real, Silksong is coming out before that fucking game updates. While I was editing this video, I just remembered this little comment I made on this part that the Silk song will come out before the ULC update, and yeah, I'm not really sure if this is looking very good for you guys. Like, where the fuck is the casino update? It's been like 2 years. Oh my god. Before the real problem with Undertale Roblox games, I must talk about this one little genre about protecting us all. I don't need to explain myself further. You know what I'm talking about. It's as if I'm mentioning fucking Voldemort or something. I'm talking about the most overused formula ever since it got invented by a certain game that I don't quite recall right now. Or maybe I just refuse to name it because it's caused so much fucking damage with a certain aspect that seemed to be so appealing at the time, and even nowadays. Which honestly is probably one of the worst ones due to the sheer amount of games you could fit in, with little to no effort just to get a couple of Robux and run away with it to make another game. Yes, I'm looking at a specific game that has done this multiple times. I certainly still don't get why there's such a big appeal to these kinds of games, which is ironic coming from me, taking into account the amount of videos I've made from sans.rng being part of this formula. Certainly one of the most unhealthy things the Undertale Roblox community has come together to create, though I'm not saying you should stop playing those or stop making them, since a lot of these games have a lot of effort and heart put into them, though they don't quite receive as much attention as others. The mere fact that the whole boss rush aspect was the only aspect taken from the original game is incredibly surprising, as a defend the souls type of game does fit well with the Undertale game. I know I don't need to explain this to you. You know how it goes, I know how it goes. I mean, if I'm coming off as if I hate the genre, I really enjoy a lot of these types of games for a little to no reason I could explain honestly. It is quite more enjoyable with friends, but that's for any game. Now, this is a topic I could rant about for hours most likely, not only because this comes off from the horrendous formula that became Soul RNG, but because it's also picking up from the thing that is still a brain rot. The topic is the ripoff that came after the huge success of Still a Brain Rot, that being Still a Sans. Now, I'm not sure if it's because I definitely don't understand what's appealing about Still a Brain Rot, but Still a Sans does come off as the same thing. Which at that point you might as well just play Still a Brain Rot, because you can actually make something productive in there and actually get money, so like, yeah. This is one of the copies that always comes around the moment a game gains huge success. I don't really see myself looking into it, because, once again, I'm talking about the formula, not the game itself, because I'm in no place to judge it, since I haven't even played it and never will. Unlike a certain game I actually willingly tried, a game that affected the whole community in one way or another and became an immediate hit as well. The sans.rng formula has caused so much problems, yet it's still having a couple of players even after so long of the original game's death. I don't even have to explain why this game died, like the creator was making it blatantly obvious that he wanted just money. The creation of its successor, which also died, and then the other one, that probably the next one is gonna die. It's just baffling of how the concept of different things spawning with extremely low chances became so popular in the first place, that even ignited fan games of the fan game. Though the formula that sans.rng left behind wasn't one that was even improved, with the shittiest progression I've seen as well competing with sans.rng's one because of course. And I'm also not gonna bother talking about Undertale RNG because it's just a glorified version of sans.rng with a reskin. But like my only real problem is sans.rng because oh my god, I tried it out. I really tried because I wanted to make this video good. Holy shit, that was not worth it. But yeah, I think that's enough torture for myself today, even if I just pointed out the obvious things and just like also RNG causing more damage to the Undertale Roblox community and the Roblox community itself. Now, what is the real problem with the state of Undertale Roblox games? Well, it is pretty obvious. It's the very poor quality and the low amount of effort that's put into a game without a soul. This can be seen with a lot of games that are just a quick cash grab, wanting to grab as much money as possible and then just dip. and that can be said for every single genre in this video. Though the problem could be summarized for the whole platform, you can notice it more due to how small the Undertale Roblox community is. Yet it's still a problem that can't really be fixed. We'll just have to deal with it. However, no matter what game, if you enjoy it, then go ahead and try to support it as much as you can, so we can keep updating and living and it doesn't turn out like whatever the fuck this is.